So the agenda for today is a long list of improvements. Some of these are from your ideas on feature requests and stuff like that. And then Eggplant Rick from the server, he did a stream. Cool guy, German guy, and I was following along with the stream and noticed a couple problems, like usability wise. This is always when you're making something for yourself, I mean, it's obvious to you how it works. So you really have to see someone else try it, especially like for the first time, to see like what are their assumptions and how do they assume that it actually works. And through that you learn a lot, and I certainly learned a lot. So one of the things is like the environment's a little bit wrong, and then there's like small stuff like the colliders on the handles and the buttons, etc. Maybe a little bit too tight. I notice a lot of people sort of reaching out and then grabbing quite quickly, and then they don't get a hold of it, and so they have to try a couple of times, but they do want to sort of move around pretty quickly. So I want to try and make that a little more permissive, I think. Yeah, a bunch of stuff like that. So, what are you writing in here so fancy? Actually though, I think there's a way to stream to both. I haven't done it, but I think you can. Pretty much got it set up for that, since you're encouraging chat on Discord rather than the stream. Oh cool, okay. I'm gonna give you a cowboy hat emoji for that. That's a great suggestion. Because I'm running this through OBS, and I suppose I can probably stream to both somehow. Let's see how it goes. But anyway, this is Unity. This is like the game engine that we are developing most of the VR stuff. So SynthVR is kind of composed of two parts. It's the VR part and the synth part. And the synth part is developed in Juice, the audio development framework, and sort of loaded in as a native library. And Unity is then used to handle all this sort of cross-platform VR stuff, and yeah, you know, sort of drive the audio engine and be the sort of main entry point into the SynthVR. Truly a privilege to receive the cowboy. Yes, I know. I hope someday that I might receive a cowboy emoji as well. So, first item on agenda is that people feel like the environment is inverted. I actually intended to put this stuff in the back because I didn't want it sort of clouding your view, but I can see that the menu, it doesn't make sense that it's behind you when you first start it up. So let's just fix that real quick. So we have that in VR and then menu, and this is just sort of a default starting position. What I really want to do is serialize the menu position such that next time you open it up, it's sort of been remembered where the menu was and what the size was and how you had it rotated. Because you might sort of make a rack in a certain way, and you want the menu to sort of, as part of your rack design, where the menu is. So that's what I really want to do, but for now, let's just move it. So right now it's at a negative position here, negative C. So let's just put the positive C and turn around. There you go. And the menu is all set. Neptune says, that's how I do it. I put the new stuff behind me. Right, okay, yeah. I don't know, I mean, I think maybe it's fine to keep this like text, because this is sort of, I mean, this is going away anyway at some point. Maybe it's fine to keep this around for a little while. I do also just kind of want to put it in the menu. Sort of when you first open up the menu, you get this sort of change log or whatever. I don't think it works very well that we have these here all the time. I'm gonna leave them there for now, and then I'm gonna put the menu in front of you and call that a day. think. And then, oh, actually, let me just make sure I got my source control set up properly. Ooh, I forgot to finish my release. Just a second. Okay. Using Git flow, if anyone's aware of this branching strategy. But I do, I make the builds in my release candidate branch, so I forgot to close it, I think. Working tree contains on-stage changes. Okay, I gotta stash those. Go, stash, improvements. Go. Stashed. And finish. There we go. Got the chat all the way. Everyone, I'm not sure, maybe we should ping here. Here's probably fine, right? Okay. Why use source control when you can name files untitled v2 final? The best ones is when they're like final, you know. This is definitely the final version. Commit messages on group projects are like that. Edit stuff, fix the bugs and edit stuff. All right, we are ready to start a new feature and be very clean about it. So let's call this UX improvements. Make everything nice and easy to understand. And let's bring back those stash changes. Apply. Cool. I like to do commits quite often, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to commit this, and I'm going to say this is moves our menu to in front of player as default position. When you boot up SynthVR for the first time, that's where it's going to be. It's going to be like about 1 meter in front of you. All right, there we go. We can get back to work. Gliders are a little too tight. So this is where I hope I've sort of set it up. I've sort of reused components enough to be able to do it. So we have sort of, if we look at a module, say the envelope generator, the lab envelope generator, all these buttons and stuff, they are sort of prefabs, and they get used again and again. And the way it works is you have a sort of it's using Unity's XR interaction system, and so each module has this sort of component folder, and in each of these objects they have a collider, which I think might just in general need to be made a little bit bigger. And hopefully I can just adjust some of my prefabs to achieve that. And the way it's then wired up is I have these sort of interactables within the Unity XR interaction framework, and then they have sort of custom interactions coded for each of them. This one follows the rotation of your controller once you start an interaction with it, once you select it. So I guess what we'll do is we'll go to components, and we'll just have to go through them one at a time. So here's the round button. I do think the collider is pretty generous in terms of like distance, but maybe we should give it a little bit more. Maybe we should do like that, a good sort of 10 centimeters out in like a VR space, and probably does need to be more generous in this direction as well. And the way that the interaction framework works is that if you're hovering multiple objects, that's okay. You'll sort of just find the closest object, and then that's the one you will select. So I think that's okay. I'm just remembering now that for this button, it's about 4 by 4 centimeters, and then it's about 10 centimeters out. And so let's just sort of replicate that for these buttons. 4 by 4. Be a little more generous. There we go. By 4 by 10. Okay. Connectors. This is another one I've noticed causes a bit of issues. Neptune, are you the only person working on this? Yes, indeed I am. I'm just Lone Ranger, building a synthesizer, which is why it's so great to have you guys on board to help out, because it is actually insanely helpful to get all these suggestions, even though we have a lot of suggestions and I can barely keep up, but yeah, I'm just one guy. Eggplant Rick, welcome to the stream. See ya, Sir Fancy. Nice to see you around. Rick, this is Carsten Flum. This is electronica artist from my hometown, Aarhus. He lives in Berlin now, making cool tunes. This is like mid-2000s electronica. The album is called It Hacks. Okay, faders. Again here, I think let's give him 4 by 4 centimeters, and then again 10 centimeters on the depth. Ooh. 0.05. So that's like the interactable area of the fader. These ones I think we need to be way more generous, because these are hard to get a hold of. So let's do 4. It seems like a lot when you look at the collider on its own, but I think it's good. Alright, dials. These are pretty big. These are not that hard to get a hold of. Do we want to give that a little extra range? Maybe a little bit. small dials we definitely want to give a little more range. What, they already have 4? Give them another centimeter. One. 0.05. There we go. Encoders. These aren't in anywhere yet, but these are going to be encoders. So, for example, the lab note has like a number of settings, like a number of scale settings, and it doesn't really make that much sense to use a normal dial for this, like with a range. Instead, you want to just sort of twist an encoder and then go to the next setting once you've twisted it enough. But I decided to just sort of leave this one to make room for other stuff, to sort of prioritize doing other things. But it's something that I want to get in there at some point in time. Neptune Unity XR doesn't look too difficult. I'm considering trying to make something with it. Yeah, I mean, the XR interaction toolkit is quite good actually. It's still technically in preview, so there are some things where you're like, this doesn't work. So one of the things that are exceptionally hard to do right now is to override. So if you want to put something in your hand, so say I have my controller, it's really easy to wire something up such that, you know, I hover it and then I press a button and that makes it grab my thing or something. But if I then want to put something in your hand without you interacting, without you pressing a button, then that is really hard to do. And I think they just sort of didn't realize at the time they were making it that that is something that people would like to do a lot. It goes the other way as well if you want to forcibly delete something. So right now when you are deleting modules, you press a button, sort of an activate button, and that sort of shrinks the module a little bit, and then when you let go, the module is deleted. And that's because it's actually really hard to remove something from your hand once you've grabbed it. So I know they're working on this, but those are a couple of like edge cases where it gets a little tricky. But it's not too bad. You can get started with it pretty quickly actually. Big Bang Rick. What would be cool if someone would make a modular VR synth? That would be amazing. Yeah, I agree. I hope someday someone will take the time to develop a modular synth for VR. If that happens, then I'll definitely want to play it. I want to give a lot of money to that person who would have done that. That would be my first sort of instinct. Would simply be to hand over as much money as humanly possible to that person. All right. So that's the components. We do also need to update the handles. I think the handles need to be sort of extra permissive in terms of the hitbox. And I'm trying to remember where I put it. Selector sphere? No. That goes on your controller. Handle. Where did I put it? Need to search for it, I think. Handle. And up there it is. So handles, they have this like big hitbox. That is just simply once you get close to it, it sort of detects that you're close and then starts scaling the handle based on how close you are. But what we want to do is to make the handle point that has a sphere collider Apparently it's very small. Want to make that a lot bigger. So yeah, twice the size. Guess I'll have to try it, see how it works. Okay. Let me try and boot it up. See if the colliders helped. Oh. There we go. A little awkward to use the headphones on top of this, but oh, the menu is very low. Might need to raise it up a little bit. Okay, so time to get close. This is eggplant rig trick, the eggplant rig trick, which is awesome. I love it. So dirty. All right, so okay. So now it should be a little easier. I feel like it's still a little hard to select it. It's definitely better, but I can sort of see myself just going for it and not quite getting it. Just move the menu out of the way. I accidentally closed it. Where is it? Here it is. Move that over there. On Oculus, that's the menu button. That'll sort of make the menu follow. Is this enough? I guess it helps. I'm just gonna sort of try to do some quick actions and see if it feels better. I love this snapping idea you guys had, by the way. I feel like if I could sort of, if I had, let's say, like if I had like an extra rack here, then like if a module has like several handles, then maybe you could snap it with sort of the one that you aren't using right now. So like if I did like this, then like this handle should sort of show up, then it should sort of lock in. You know, have the two handles sort of interlocked. I think that would be cool. And then I don't know, maybe you can sort of rotate it. Maybe it sort of locks the rotation axis. So like once you get close enough, then it sort of locks in and it'll be straight. And if I move it up, I'll sort of rotate it along that point instead. That makes sense. All right, for now though, we're doing colliders, and the colliders feel better for sure. Ooh, that's a cool sound. Makes me want to do an amplifier thing. Have an amplifier there, and then like should be an LFO, but let's just use normal oscillator and make it slow. And what am I doing? Feed this. Oh yeah, make that a modulation source and then feed this through. I think that might be cool. Oh, I like it. Cool. Anyway, see, what's the order here? Headphones first. Okay. Let's set second. All right. That would be nice. After they plug in, it would be cool if you could move them together. So you'd grab one, you would have sort of locked them together, and then you grab one of them, and then you sort of move both. Is that what you mean, dinner roll? Then I guess then you'd have to sort of decide when something snaps, like what is the. You're not gonna do angles. You're just gonna be like, well, once it snaps, then they just snap on top of each other like that, and then you can sort of move them together. That might be cool. That might be cool indeed. All right, but you know what? I think you're saying you're agreeing. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea. It's just let me put Flum back on. Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of like what kind of interaction is the most useful. I think you'd have to select sort of one or the other. I think sort of snapping them at a set angle is probably a good idea. Maybe if there's a lock button on the handle. Yeah, you could make it. Yeah, it would be cool. Okay. So, what does that? Like a camera tripod? They have sort of, you sort of lock them. Sometimes you twist some component, and that'll sort of lock the joint. Maybe you could do something like that, or have something next to it that if you sort of press it and interact with it, then that'll lock that particular joint. That'll be quite cool actually, because then you could build some really impressive racks. Yeah, so you toggle it. So you toggle it somehow. Yeah. Maybe you can use. Maybe once something snaps, you can use one of the buttons, like a activation button. Might be an option. I think it's a cool idea. We're doing a little bit more of this. We're making the colliders even bigger. Making them 5 centimeters wide and 12 centimeters deep. Oops. See you, Neptune. Glad you had fun, and good to have you around. had a rack that I wanted to move and I need to take it apart piece by piece. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, okay. I see. That would have. So yeah. Okay. So obviously you have the single rack. That's a good sort of grouping for a couple of modules, like maybe a couple depending on the size. Yeah, but then I also do end up having sort of different groups that are several of the floating racks. I think the snapping is a good feature because you want to be able to move that stuff around. Rather than, like you said, sort of having to do it individually, one piece at a time. Then then you're not having fun, right? You're having fun when you're building stuff and playing synths. Sort of grunt work, having to move each individual things, that's no fun. Alright, bigger collider. Not exactly sure why, but I really care that these colliders have roughly the same sizes. I'm not sure that anyone will sort of perceive that, but I like the thought that it's going to be uniform, how close you need to be to something in order to interact with it. Make this one 10 by 10 centimeters, and then again, let's do 12 centimeters. Oops, just to give a little bit extra. Small dial as well. 6. Oh, this is a good song by Flum. Go, and one more collider to set. Where is it? That is the handle, which I have lost again. Where did I put it? Didn't put it in menu. Where did it go? I have to search again. Handle. Then components. Base. Oh, it's like in the outer. Okay, I see. Alright. And again, we want to make sure that it's nice and big. Actually, there might be some component manipulating this. I'm just realizing. No, I think it's all right. Let's give it another shot. Take the glasses off. And begin. Okay, so now it's like quite. So as soon as I get like this close, something sort of selects. You know what? I'm fine with that. I want it because I feel like once you're sort of in the moment and you're sort of grooving and you're doing things, let's get a little easier to accidentally select things that are close together though. That's the only issue. I don't know. I just need to check the collider size of this handle because I feel like it's not bigger than it was before. Is that a Fender shirt? Yes, it is. I do not really play guitar anymore. I used to though. But I've always been more of a synth guy. I did at one point have a Moog guitar, which was incredible. It had like this electromagnetic system inside it. So you basically what do they call call a U-bow, where you can sort of sustain a string for an infinite amount of time. This Fender guitar had like an integrated U-bow, where it would sort of have infinite sustain on the strings, and then it also had a Moog ladder filter built in. That was cool. Do you play an instrument, Dinner at all? Yeah, U-bows, they're cool. I like them too. It makes a cool sound. You know what? I'm good with this. I'm good with this. Is it a little easier to make a mistake when you're very close? Yes, it is. But it is easier to... No, this is not quite good enough. Handle needs to be a little bit better. The guitar and bass. Got a Stratocaster, a J bass. I know about P bass, like the precision bass. Is that right? J bass. Not sure I know that model. What's the make of the J bass? Okay. Okay, you know what? This is better. I can sort of almost. This is also because it scales. Maybe it scales a little too smoothly. Jazz bass, that's what it is. Right. My brother is a bass player as well. I'm sure you guys would have a lot to talk about. Oh, cool. Reduce the smoothness here a little bit. I think that's what's causing the issue. We did the electronics for the inside of the bass. That's cool. Sounds like a fun DIY project. Look at this. This is a lot better. I know it's not quite as sort of smooth, but it's available to me very quickly, which is good. I think that's better than before. Yep. It looks a little more intentional as well, actually. You know. And there it is. Right, and if I get in, it's ready to be interacted with. Cool. That's what we're doing. wonder if you can build in like synth, like a synth circuit or something in a guitar or a bass. I wonder if anyone's done that. Let's commit this. We'll call it small permissive component colliders. Putting a sequencer in it. That would be incredible. That would be a lot of fun, I think. Alright, this is done. UI drag threshold too low. So this is when you sort of drag and scroll on the menu, then you want to it sort of allows you to, gives you a little bit of wiggle room before it actually starts sort of scrolling. Implementing a sequencer to control the tone pickup volume. That'd be pretty cool. You could even like make it with an extra jack in for a clock input to drive that sequencer. Then you could hook it up to a modular or whatever. Hook it up to some external system. That'd be kind of fun. There's a Danish rock band called Nephew, and I got to see sort of their backstage, like their setup, one time many years ago, and the way they've done it was that all the guitar effects were driven on laptops. They have these setups with like MacBooks, and there would be two MacBooks next to each other, and in case one of them failed, the second one would sort of step in, and what they would do is they would have the drummer sort of dictate a rhythm. He would play an electronic kit, sort of a German style, Interpol style rock, and then they would synchronize all their guitar effects to the drummer, but it would all be sort of electronically synchronized, which I think at the time, this maybe 10, 12 years ago, was like pretty advanced, and a pretty advanced thing to do, at least around these parts. UI drag threshold. So this is menu, and in the menu object we do have, where is it again? Try and remember where I put it. This is like an input module from the XR stuff. Accidentally put it somewhere else. Session. Put it in session. Event system. And there should be a drag threshold. I'm just gonna increase this a little bit. See how it goes. Yeah, I thought it was pretty impressive how they've done it. It's also always dangerous to be too reliant on a PC to do anything for you live, but that's why you bring two, I guess. Thank you, Eggplant Rick. I've tried to keep it neat, at least. I'm doing my best. But I mean, some of the implementation is messy still. That's just how it is. I can't decide if this is too permissive. I guess we'll see. But what I'm testing is the menu now. Here. Menu. And so you can sort of see, because if you want to long press something, you don't want to accidentally sort of start scrolling instead. So what we need here is that this threshold is high enough that you do what you want, but it also feels like the menu is responding to your scrolling. I think this is a better value. I can sort of, yeah, I can sort of move this around without too big of a problem. And if I do want to scroll, I have to do it a little bit intentionally. Which I think is good. I don't accidentally trigger these things, which is the main thing, I guess, for the scrolling. Yeah, I think it's better. Small change. Hopefully, good change. Hopefully, all these small things sort of come together into making the project feel a lot more usable. So let's commit that. Increases. Okay, there we go. UI drag threshold. Good. Getting a little bit tired of Plum now. What can we play that is okay to play on stream? I don't know. Play Finesse. This is really good electronica as well. Alright, what's next? Long press time, a little too slow. Alright. This is from Eggplant Rick's stream. I noticed that we were waiting a little bit longer than you wanted to get those components or get those modules. So I figure I just need to increase the time. I've been outed. There's Britney Spears in my music library. So what do I have with Britney Spears? So much weird stuff. I swear I never listened to it, guys. Did you actually see it? Oh, there she is. Toxic. Toxic, that's such a good song. How can you not like Toxic? Anyway. Long press time. What am I doing? I'm going to prefabs, and the menu system is also mostly prefabbrized. We have the old radio menu here, which is I guess deprecated now. That's dead and buried in favor of the new menu system, in which we have the module card prefab. And somewhere around here I have a setting, long click handler, that's right. We wanna reduce the long click time. Instead of taking 6.5. I swear I never listened to it. 42,000 listens. Yeah, I know. It's a good song now. I'll stick by it. I'll stick by Britney. Leave Britney alone. That's what I'll say. Long press time 0.5. Maybe even a little less. Less than half a second for long press. Let's try it. Alright, I'll summon the menu. It doesn't always work quite how I'm intending it to. I think there's some bugs there too. Oh, it's when... I'm not sure. Okay, so, alright, navigating, this is fine. A quick single click to navigate. Come on. Alright, well, this needs a fix. Anyway, kind of better, right? If I'm sort of deliberately slow to click, I'm not accidentally spawning them. I have to sort of do a long click. Yeah, you know what? I think it's good. Glasses and then headphones. All right. That's another one off the list. Long press time. All right, there we go. And Rick, you get an emoji for roasting me. Britney Spears. I'll give you a crying face emoji. And it's not out of joy, it's out of sadness that mine is crying. Create and back buttons switched. So this was highlighted by several people that it felt like they're the wrong way around. And to me, I think, I'm not sure why, but I don't mind changing it. So here we have the info view prefab, and it should literally just be swapping the position of these two. We'll put this one to 0, and this one to 200. There we go. Try it out. Right, come here, little menu. So, what are we doing? We're checking that. Yeah. You know what? Sort of a bit of a, I guess it's a bit of a shorter distance to the button. I don't know why. It feels like it should be there. Yeah. This is a slightly shorter distance going to create. And if you're going into the info view, you're coming in here to probably create this module. You might sort of, I don't know, change your mind or read the description and find out this is not what I'm looking for. Suppose then you could abort. But yeah, I think it's good. Great. Maybe you should be careful exposing an email address on the screen. Oh. Where's my email address exposed? I don't recall where my email was. Maybe you can let me know. Right. Boom. buttons switched. I have so many easy jobs today, or I'm deliberately doing easy jobs. So I can do stream and goof off at the same time. Alright, so changes, positioning, position, off, create and back. Okay. Create and back. Buttons in module intro. Oh, it's right here. Sorry about that. You're right, it's on my Git. That's a public email. That's okay. But I should probably be committing with my 42 tones email. Yeah. Yeah, I see now. I sort of realized as I was typing it in, like, oh, my email's right there. Yeah. I'm okay with that though, because it is a public email. Obviously, it would suck to get spammed. But it is on the worldwide internet already. It's not too bad. Oh, but it's something to be aware of. Okay. Summon should open menu also. Just when you summon the menu, you also want to open it. Yes. This is in case the menu is closed, because you can open and close it. So if you press and hold the menu button to summon it, you don't want to like just summon it while it's invisible. You want to sort of have it appear as it's coming to you. So I believe that is implemented as part of the menu object here. It has something called XR attribute button press. This is the first time we're going to look at code, which is quite amazing that it took this long to get to code actually. It's Unity for you though. It's once you have it set up properly, you do quite a lot just in the inspector. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger just to favor the stream. So this is a class that's building on the XR interaction toolkit. And you hook it up to some input source, and then once a certain button is pressed on that input source, it will be attracted to it. Attract. Where did I implement that? Move with handle. So it will sort of just try to move towards the position of whatever device is pressing that menu button. And what we are doing is first we just expand this such that it also has a reference to the menu controller, and it can call the open. It can ask the menu to open. Of course, that's the way to do it. So, menu controller is just a simple, script that can also track an input, find a button, etc., and then open and close the menu simply by rescaling it and then activating or deactivating it. So we will want you to be able to know. It's here. So we want to be able to ask the menu controller whether it's currently open, and if it is, then we will. If it's not, then we will open it. So the only thing you can do is you can ask is open, and it will tell you. Okay. Is this being set? Yes. Alright, so attract with button press. Probably should rename this now to attract menu with button press. That's what it was for, but I was going to try and make it a little more generic. So it could be used for other things, but I think it makes sense to just try to tie this to the menu. Because I don't see other objects having this behavior anyway. So we would also now want menu controller reference. Alright. First. Go. Clean this up. So if handle press started, so if press is started, let's check if menu controller, if the menu isn't open, let's open it, basically. I think it's going to be that simple. And obviously we want to make sure we get that, that menu controller reference. So we're going to do menu controller, have a little extension method that I wrote where if it's null, it'll try to find it on the game object and it'll make a fuss if it's not available. So let's update, and we see now we can pass in a menu controller reference. Let's pass it in by hand like this. And I'll apply that to the prefab. And yep, is that it? Might be it. I'm gonna turn down Finesse a little bit. I want to play Britney Spears now. Now that you got me thinking of it. I feel like I want to listen to something else. Something that's okay to play on a stream. London Modular Alliance. That's good working music. And relevant. Alright, let's boot up SynthVR. And sure, there's a little port. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to close the menu and then we're going to summon it over here. Yes, nice. So when I summon it, even though it was closed, sort of reappears and then starts following. And I think that's good. What if it's open and I summon it? It just stays open, which is perfect. I'm going to close it again and then I'm going to summon it. Perfect. Okay. Good. All right. And we will say that this is updates menu attract interaction updates menu such that it is opened when it is summoned. There we go. Another one to cross off the list. Alright. How are we doing for this stream? How long have we been on? An hour and 15. Okay. How are you guys doing? Are you alive out there? So I think the last feature that I'll implement tonight is menu position serialization. Oh, that's great. In a row. Don't worry. Glad to have you here. Obviously, you're welcome to just check in or check out at any point. It's been fun to stream with you guys. Actually, I haven't tried it before. It was quite fun to do it. I think I'll do it again. So this is the patch serialization script. This is all about taking all of the information about your current session, like which modules you're using and where they are, how they're positioned, rotated, and then saving that. And the way that sort of works is it gets saved to a see if I can actually find that data. It gets saved to the sort of JSON format. A little explicit right now, but let's see if we can open this, maybe with Visual Studio Code. Oh, glad you think it seems organized. I try to keep it pretty organized. I prototyped this 3 years ago, maybe even more, maybe even 4 years ago. Prototyped this idea and it worked. And I was so stoked. But then it sort of grew too quickly, and I wasn't organized enough to handle it, and I wasn't experienced enough at the time to deal with it. So it sort of got out of hand for me, and I couldn't finish it. I couldn't sort of progress. So this time I sort of decided that, well, I'm gonna do this sort of very step by step, get the call right first, and do a manageable scope. And it seems like it's panning out. It seems like that's making it possible to actually complete this project. So this is what a save file looks like. It has some information about the module inside of the signal processing graph, and where the module comes from, where it is in space, how it's rotated. Technically, you can edit all this on your own. If you do edit some of these things, you might break the save. You might not be able to load it properly. But it is technically possible. So if you wanted to like copy paste a bunch of oscillators or something, you could do it. But I don't think it would be very safe. So. But anyway, what we're wanting to do now is we want to extend this save format to also, it's right now including like what version it is, what modules are in there, how the modules are connected from which node to which node, etc. What the color of each connection is and where the racks are. But what we also want to do now is we want to serialize where the menu is and how it's rotated. And so it should be pretty straightforward. We should just try and find that menu in the session and save that along with it. So let me just get an overview of this here. Serialization. So we have a serialized model for each of these things. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make something called a serialized menu. This is the menu, how it's going to be represented once it's been saved to a file. So that's what we're doing now. And we're going to get inspired by how Rex are doing it. Let's put that here. So what are the kind of things you want to save about menu? Well, you want to save where it is. We'll do that the exact same way. we want to save how it's rotated. And I think at some point in time, it would be cool to save where you are in the menu, stuff like that. But I think for now, this is fine. This is going to be fine. I want to try and keep this lean. So let's just do what is needed instead of what we think is going to be needed at some point. Because you don't know. You don't know what works until you implement it and have people try it. So we're making a constructor here for serialized menu.
I just want to help you.
And we're going to save all these fields. There we go. And then we're going to provide an alternate constructor in case I have an actual menu. If I have a menu controller, I'm going to allow you to construct a serialized menu using that. We need SynthVR menu for that. So, position should be controller.transform.position. Or is it? Need to check this. Yes, that is where the menu is positioned on the menu controller. Okay, so that's the data model for saved menu. Pretty straightforward. And so now all we need to do is we need to serialize patch. Some comments here. Serialize modules. The first thing we do, and then we're gonna serialize racks. It's sort of the same recipe for all of it. So we find all the objects of some type that's in your session right now, and then we basically serialize them and add them to this JSON file. So let's say menu find object of type menu controller. Why is that not good? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm not doing that yet. Maybe I'm just finding the menu. Ah, right. This doesn't serialize it yet. It just finds the things. Should probably move that out into separate functions. So, to make a serialized patch, now you also need to provide a menu controller. Menu. And of course now this object also has a serialized menu. Why is that not available? Or it's the wrong namespace. There we go. Alright, in order to initialize a serialized patch, you must also now provide that menu. There we go. Of course, a serialized menu up here. Serialized menu from menu controller. What's possible new? There we go. I think that's it. Is that it? Need to implement the loading part of it as well. I think this is the saving part. I think so. Let us try and something's off. That's because I haven't provided the menu yet. You intend to leave the saved data as plain JSON files going forward? I wrote a script for generating rows of racks, and I'm wondering if this will stay usable. Oh, you wrote a script. That's cool. I'd be interested to see how that works. So I'm not sure. So on the one hand, having an open JSON format enables modding, like what you're doing now. It's like you wrote a script, and I think that's really cool that you wrote something that's gonna be able to enable you to build something special that you wanted to make. Of course, having it plain JSON also means that the saves are gonna be a little bit bigger. You could save some space by, I was considering to compress it. So maybe keep it, the internal structure is always going to be a JSON structure. But what I might do is I might zip it just to save space. So just compress it with some known compression algorithm. But then you'll have to know that you have to unzip the thing and rezip it in order to use it in SynthVR. And maybe I like the idea more that it's just an open format, and you just, if you feel like tinkering with it, you just open it up and do whatever you want to. That's sort of, I think for this kind of thing, I think that's good. SynthVR is a thing for people who like to tinker, isn't it? You wanna tinker with something, play around, try things out, build something. Yeah, so far I think I'll keep it plain JSON format. I don't want to hide it away. That's not the plan, to sort of make it inaccessible. But maybe it'll be compressed if the save files end up being too large. All right, so wait for an autosave here. I'm going to check the autosave and see if I got the menu position in it. I'm just looking in the console here to. There we go. There's an autosave. But you wrote a bash script. Oh, so you'd be okay if it was compressed. I suppose anyone who would want to open up a save file and tinker with it would be able to access some information about. Maybe there needs to be some documentation that's like, hey, you can just unzip, just decompress these files, and it'll be plain JSON inside, and you can do whatever you like. But definitely send me the link. I'm very curious to see what you came up with. All right. So we're checking out that autosave, and ooh, that's the wrong version. 233. That's not right. Oh, SynthVR. It's a leftover. So this is JSON, and let's format it so I can see what's going on. All right, and let's have a look. Menu, position. Yep, looks correct. 1 meter in front in the C coordinate, and 60 centimeters above ground, and it's some rotation. Perfect. I think it works. Let's see here. See what you've been up to here. Generate rack. Ah, this is cool. Love it. You've reverse engineered the prefab names here. What are you doing? So what? So it's to create like a wall, or like a rows of racks. Like if you wanted to do the Look Mom No Computer like wall of oscillators, then you at least generate the wall this way. Ooh. See, I'm not that versed in Bash, so this is some argument handling. Okay. Wall. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. I see. You got the JSON snippet here. Then you're inserting your origin. You're keeping the rotation. Rotation is difficult to modify as well because it's saved as a quaternion. So and quaternion math is famously mind-bending and weird. But the positions are pretty straightforward to alter. You can put it in like generac.sh h10 v10 and it'll make 100 rack wall. That's awesome. That's awesome. Can you send me like a save file that you've generated this way? I would love to have a save file like that I could play with. Yeah, I realized that quaternion thing. Yeah, what I might do is I might actually change it so it's stored as Euler angles. So it's a little more modifiable because quaternions they're sort of made up of the different axes components, and then they are sort of multiplied by the W component, and it's yeah, I'm not a very well versed in it, but it's hard to work with. But it is when you work with 3D stuff, we sort of have to deal with it because Euler or Euler angles have these sort of gimbal lock problems that are hard to deal with otherwise than using quaternions. But I think we could definitely store the rotation as Euler angles. Let me just write that down. That's a UX improvement for a hacker man like you. So store natural rotation as Euler angles instead of quaternions. Cool. That was cool. That was fun to learn that you've done this, and I didn't even know it. You need to share it on. You should share it on jams. I'm sure there's a couple of other people that would be interested to get their hands on a tool like that. Okay, so menu was serialized, and now what we need to do is we need to set up the menu. We don't need to instantiate the menu like we do with the other things. I'll take it. I think it's cool. I couldn't have written a bash script like that. I'm a Python and C# guy myself. It's cool. Cool. I never really played around too much with modding stuff. I think it's really really cool that you did this. Oh, not ready to share yet. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. You want to feel like it's ready before you. Yeah, definitely. I think a couple of guys would have a lot of fun using this to generate like a wall of racks and start setting stuff up. I think they'd have a lot of fun. Right? Let's no. Let's do this one. I really like this. Oh wait, no. No, no, no. I think it's not okay to stream it. Some other indie music to listen to. Let's do. What should we do? Which is Divine? It's a little heavy for me right now. Robotaki. Yes. This is good. It's okay to stream to midnight? Oh, nice. Oh, awesome. Was it you that shared the midnight on the synth music? Because really been getting into it. I didn't know about them before. Okay, what are we doing? Menu, game object, transform. Or we just say transform. Menu transform position should be patch menu position. Yeah, they're awesome. I really like it. it's pretty poppy for synthwave, but they're really good. Very catchy songs and pretty emotional. Some of them too. I like it. Okay, let's boot this up and see if it remembers where my menu was. So I want to move it here. There we go. Then I'm just gonna wait for another save. I guess I could just save it in one of the slots. Let me do that actually. So let me save it in slot 1. Are you sure? Yes. And so I'm gonna clear. I'm gonna move the menu somewhere else. Then I'm gonna load slot 1. I wonder what's gonna happen. Ooh, there we go, perfect. Moves back to where it should be. Awesome. Awesome. Save it in another position as well, maybe something like this. Oh, maybe a tiny little cute menu. We'll save it in slot 2. And then finally we'll do a big boy menu over here. There we go. We'll save that slot 3. Try and load them up. Slot 1. Oop, the scale is not remembered. Of course it isn't. Okay. Well, I think that's the only thing left to do then. Scale. Menu scale. So serialized menu should also remember the scale. And how is it that this works again? XR scale with button. Transform to scale. Screen scaling. Menu controller needs a reference for that. Screen scaler. Screen scaler. There we go. And we're gonna pass that in here as a reference. And we'll be able to now use that serialized menu can go to controller.scaler, screen scaler. It can just sort of get the X component of the scale, save that. And menu dot scaler, the local scale should now be vector 3 1. So we're going to do a vector 3 of just ones in each value. Then we're going to multiply that by the saved scale. There we go. So that should work. Guess we're gonna find out right now. Perfect. Where's the menu? Something break? think something must have broken. Oops. Is this because my save is forked? Is it because I need to have the scale component included here? I think it might be. Scale, I do 1.0. Let's load that our save. Oh. There's an A there somewhere. Screen scaling, what's going on? Scale set to 0. And why would the scale be set to 0? Why would the scale be... Because it definitely isn't. Maybe getting late now. Let's just debug this. I'm just going to attach the debugger and run the thing. Catch menu scale 0. Or maybe 0. Why would it be 0? Failed to say, oh, okay, maybe it just didn't save my change. Let's do JSON, boom, and format, document, let's see what I'm doing. Is indeed set to 0, it's set to 1. And that should work. Alright, good. So I'm going to place one on you here. I'm going to make it a little scale. Test it. I'll save that in slot 1. And then I'm going to move it and make it like big. Save that in slot 2. And put this here. Save that in slot number 3. And now let's load that one. Okay, pretty small. Yep. And this one make it really huge and save that 3 again, just to make sure that the scales sort of play correctly. Perfect. That's just awesome. What more could you ask for? All right. Commit and escape. What a great night. I feel like I've gotten some work done. We're improving the experience, and we're making everything better, so that's really awesome. So Perfect. All right. In a row, I think you are the last person left. I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. It's been really fun to hang out with you, and if anyone else is watching, it's been fun hanging out with you as well. And I hope we can do it again.